Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another one here. It is the Authority Project, and I have my new good friend here, Martha Krejci, on the set, the virtual stage. And she says she is here to help us turn our side gig into our main gig. Is that right, Martha?
You are darn tootin', that's right.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, we shall see. We shall see on this current episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of the Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, we are back, people. We are back. It's the Authority Project. You are the project, and we want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I am here with Martha Krejci, and I'm so excited to have her here. It's going to be an event, people, because I have a bunch of questions. She has a bunch of answers, and I think you're going to be so full once this thing is completely finished. But before we dive in, please tell people who you are personally and then professionally.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me on here. This is so much fun. Also, I may need a track of your intro music because I was kind of feeling it. I might need that like while I'm doing makeup in the morning or something. Like it just has a nice little something to it.
Yeah.
So I'm Martha Krejci. I help people build income streams around themselves so that they can live the lives that they desire, so they can live in service to their community, but be able to build income doing so. And typically whenever people talk about that sort of thing, it sounds, when we talk about income streams, for me, it always sounds like a couple pennies here, couple pennies here, couple pennies here, right? My family makes 7 figures plus a month, and that's just in our income streams. And we work like 5 to 10 hours a week. So it's something that every family can do. And I'm not saying that like dude bro sitting on a car like, hey, I can do all of this. I'm saying that so you understand I'm just like, there's nothing uber special about me aside from the fact that I never quit. But now what I'm doing is I'm turning around and I'm showing people how to be able to do exactly what we've done, because it's not difficult. It's just not openly shared in the world. And I believe that's because honestly, a lot of people don't understand really how to do it well. But personally, so that's me professionally. Personally, I'm a business strategist. So there's that. But personally, my background is riddled with alcoholism, with domestic abuse, with a lot of ugly. There was a lot of ugly in there, right? Now I can look back on it and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I can lean into the things that happened to me in my world, because now I know that I'm in a place that I can turn and I can look at that person who may be having the roughest day of their life, sitting on their couch, staring at the wall and just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here? Right? I can look at that person. I can speak directly to that person and I can say, I was there and I made it out. So here, let me show you, I understand where you are, and let me point to the mountaintop, because we're about to go up here. Right? And that's where, so personally, that is my background. And honestly, whenever I first started my business, it was this catalyst right here, like this point right here was where I started my business. That was when I was sitting in a cubicle, carpeted cubicle in corporate America, and had my little computer, had my headset on, right? Couldn't go anywhere, tethered to a phone, couldn't go anywhere, right? And my phone dings, and it's a message, it's a video for my husband. Well, I can't take my phone out on the calling floor, against the rules, right? So I had to go to the bathroom to go watch this video. I get to the bathroom and I watch this video, and I kid you not, it is my daughter taking her first steps. And everything just went, it was like everything blacked out from the outside in. My ears, like my hearing went like to tunnel hearing. Everything stopped. It was like a movie, and you know how everybody just stops mid whatever they were doing, and then the narrator talks. It was like everything stopped, and the narrator would be God in this instance, that was talking and saying like, are you okay with this? Yeah. And it was a microcosm. It wasn't right or wrong. It was just, are you okay with this? Because this stuff is going to continue happening. So you're going to continue to miss things. Is that okay with you? It was a checkpoint. And so that was where I went home and I told my husband, who typically holds the string to my balloon. It's the way I talk about it. He's like the anchored dude. And I'm like, ah! And I went home and I told him I was going to quit my job. Here was our situation. We had just bought a really expensive house. There were 2 families living in our house. There was my little family, and then there was also my husband's parents that lived with us. And I was the sole earner of our entire household, holding the insurance and all of the things. And I come home and I say, I want to quit my job. And Mike did not even bat an eye. So for me, I was like, my gosh. What he said to me was, if you don't do this, you're doing everybody around you a disservice. And that was amazing to me, because this is a guy that would normally say, oh my gosh, how are we going to afford this house that we just bought? How are we going to afford insurance? You know, like, and just rattle off all of the things. Right. And he didn't say that. And so that's how I knew. That was my very first step of knowing, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this, because it felt like a very divine footstep in that aspect, because a man didn't do something he typically does. And so that was an interesting point. But we started our business at that point, and then the rest is kind of, you know, it's a long story, but it's history. But that's my personal who I am, and then business who I am, business strategist. But I want to show people how to have freedom by way of service.
Awesome. This is great so far. I think everybody can see that already. So I'm going to jump around with different questions, because I usually have these constant questions, but I'm just going to flow with where we are now. So one last question before we dive in. What is your daily routine? Just so people can hear that. What is your daily routine?
Yeah. Sure. I love that. The first thing I do is I get coffee and I stare at the wall. I'm not going to glamour it up, right? Like, it's just, It is what it is. Sometimes you just have to stare at the wall. Hashtag stare at the wall. Yeah. Besides that, what I typically do is I have a planner. So here we have a planner, for those of you who can see it. I have things that I do every single day, and those go into my planner, you know, where they're supposed to go every day. So my workouts go into my planner. Everything goes into my planner. If there's family time stuff, it goes into my planner. It's not just work. It's all of my things to make sure that balance is there and that things get done. Because in my life, if it's not on my planner, it may not happen. And so it needs to be on there. Yeah. So I put the things on my planner, and I put like the things that have different times associated with them. Those go down one column, and then the other column are the things that could fit in between other things, but don't necessarily need to be associated with a time. They're tasks to do, but they don't need to be done at a time. So by the end of the day, so here's where we're at right now, which is what we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cross this off, because we have done this. And then I have one more thing, and then I'm done. And then everything's crossed off for the day. I get my little dopamine hit of getting all of my stuff done. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. It's pretty simple.
Awesome. So this is going great so far. So let's dive in now. You ready? We're diving in.
I'm ready.
So we're starting from a side gig. So we're assuming people have one. Hopefully, we're assuming the audience that I have is mainly that they have something going on.
Okay.
But let's first define what side gig is first. What does the side gig mean? Just to be clear.
Yeah. So a side gig is typically something that you're doing alongside what is currently paying your bills. So you've got your main thing that is taking care of you, hopefully fully taking care of you. However, we know it's not always the case. Sometimes we're still going in debt, even though we have a main gig, right?
Right.
But you have your main thing that's taking care of you. And then your side gig is the thing you would love to do, but it's not the main thing that you're doing yet. So that's what a side gig is.
So we're transitioning from this side hustle to what is the main hustle. So, all right, tell us how we turn this tiny little side gig into this amazing, gigantic main gig that we all want to live out, our dreams too. What is that? How do we make that happen?
Secret sauce. I'm going to give you secret sauce right now.
Okay.
The secret sauce is you need to know who you're speaking to, and you need to take care of those people like they are your tribe. A lot of times when people look at side gig stuff, they get sucked into get rich quick stuff or things that are a little unrealistic. They look at selling things and making money. That's what I mean to say more. They look at selling things and making money as their side gig. If you shift perspective to how can I serve people? So who are my people that I'm here to serve? So if we go back to what I was saying earlier and those different versions of myself from before, the woman that was stuck in corporate America that just one day decided she was going to quit her job, but wasn't real sure what she was going to do. That woman, I serve her right now. I serve the people that come from alcoholic backgrounds that maybe think that everything is over for them. I serve them. I serve people that feel like they have more to offer to the world, that they have no idea where to begin. I serve those people. So who were you? And whenever you're able to look at, and I have different ways to drill down on this. This is where my programs really drill down and then show where to go from there. But you discover who you were back then, because that is who your people are. Here's the thing, super quick, is that some people, they look at where they were before and then they say, but I don't want to go back there, right? I don't really want to talk about that stuff anymore. And here's the trick or the hack to that, is that you're not actually going back there. You're touching and you're pointing forward. So you touch in order to say, I understand. Your copy touches. Your videos, like maybe some topics touch. They touch on that space just long enough for them to understand, oh my gosh, that's me. Just long enough to do that. You don't sit and wallow in it, right?
Right.
You touch and you go. So you say, here, this is who this is for. I was you, da 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 da. And then you say, and here we go. Now let me show you how to have a better life, because I am you. I have done it. I am ultimately the most trustworthy person you can experience right now, because I have literally been exactly where you are. And then you show them where you're going to go. So for the people that heard me say, like, look at where you were before, and you're like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that.
Right.
It's okay, because you're the hero now. You're the hero of not only your own story, but you might be the hero of their story. You might be the person that showed them how to be able to do this. And that's the entire goal here. So the more that we can get away from what can I sell to bring in more money to how can I serve, and then just leave it at that. It doesn't even need to lead to bring in more money. The bring in more money happens. That happens. That's the biggest thing about HBR, is that I teach people to be able to create programs in service to their community. So not only you decide who your community is, you discover, you identify who your community is, and then you begin to serve them. And then you serve them and you get them, gathered in different places. And all of a sudden you're building a community that then you can serve, and you don't even need ads. I don't even use ads, you guys.
Mm.
So this is real.
So I'm so locked into what you're saying. I'm so I'm with you on all of that, because I'm really getting in tune with that myself. So like was commenter says, what a great interviewer. He's awesome. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. That was for me. I thought that was for you, but that's for me. That's all me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I'm all in on that. So I think that getting people to switch from that though is the issue. Because I know you're all in on service. And that, I want to say, why, Martha? Why are you so into the serve? You serve. Yeah. When people are in pain with their finances. So how do you get these people to switch so that they can see that there is a light at the tunnel, even to help you with these bills that you have to take care of to survive in life? How do you get them to switch? Because I know you're probably going to talk about mindset, and it's all going to be all cliche, but how do you get them there? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, I get very, very into having us understand really our goal here as humans. And I don't subscribe to the fact that we live and we do what we do and that there's nothing after. I don't subscribe to that. And I don't subscribe to the concept that there's no reason for us being here. So instead, I believe that we have a very strong need to show the world love. And so whenever I am able to get in front of somebody and show them what it looks like and what it means to serve people and to allow that person that they used to be to get better because you decided to show up, the dollars are not necessary. The dollars, I mean, they're necessary to pay bills, but they're not, the mind is not focused on the dollars because our souls are not focused on dollars. This is our souls. When I'm talking about our souls and showing up as our creator in this world, when I talk about that you're so far away from dollars, it's just not even in the conversation. You're like, I want this person to be better. I want me back then to be better. And that is soul satisfying. And then when you can wake up in the morning and know that you're going to get those messages that day of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just brought my husband home from work. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're doing this. Oh my gosh, I'm able to afford my daughter's hospital stuff again. Like, it's so, and I have goosebumps everywhere right now. It is so soul satisfying to show up. And there's not another way for me to say it, it's projecting our creator into this world. And then the rest of it, it's blessings. The rest of it just comes. And so once we move away from, oh my gosh, I need that money, that is a very lack, scarcity, hoarding mindset of, I need that because I'm not going to be able to get it ever again, right? Yeah. And whenever we're in a place of, I need that because I'm not going to be able to get it ever again, maybe you'll get a little bit, but then you won't get it ever again. We need to make sure that we're in a space of, let me make you better. Let me help you. Let me help you push the needle. And then whenever you help them push the needle, they're going to be open, completely open and loyal to all of your other programs and all of the other ways that you look to serve them. All you have to do is show and prove servant leadership to them. And then everything else is like, well, yeah, I'll do that. I love you. Of course I'm going to do this. I want to be better. I know you're my person. Yes, I'm going to do this other thing. And they keep getting better too. And then you also gain income. It's just, it's such a perfect world. And that's why, so HBR, people are like, what's HBR stand for? It's home-based revolution. That's what it is. And it's called a revolution because it is. That wasn't just because we needed an R. And we're like, well, I don't know, revolution. It's revolution because it is a revolution. It's a disruption to the entire way that we've done business. We, the royal we, have done business forever. It's a disruption and a twist to everything that now allows us to show up in service. And people's minds, once they get twisted into that, then they're like, I see, and I love this, and I get it. And then they're able to start growing.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. So I want to ask you this then, because it sounds amazing. It sounds like, and I had another question that I want to go further down, but let me ask you these two questions in succession, I guess. Because I think people want that feeling of giving someone hope, right? They want that feeling of giving someone that everybody has this desire to take care of your mother or take care of your kids. They want the people to grow to, they want to see something happen with their church or something. I want to help these people, pay off somebody's school bill. Everybody has those feelings of giving somebody that hope. Yeah. And I'm going to give you a plug right now, because I'm a subscriber to your YouTube, and I tell you what, people, y'all need to go over there like after the show and just hang out and just listen to her talk, because it's different. It's different. And I see you, and I see you giving people hope, and it's different. And I just want people to understand that it can happen for you. Get to this girl. I'm already plugging her for later on, but I'm not finished yet. But tell people about that feeling of hope, how you give people hope, and why that's so important.
Yeah. Hope is the one thing that is very lacking in this world. We live in a society that has a strong narrative that we are essentially worthless, that we are broken, and that we need help. That's the narrative that we live through in this world. The truth is that we're perfect. The truth is that we're all here for each other. The truth is that community is stronger than anything else. And that's exactly why people have been trying to dismantle community for a very long time in different ways. And so the more that we come back to supporting each other, you can call it right now, business is moving from people buying from corporations to people buying from people, and people supporting each other. And so the emergence of a personal brand, which is what I talk about, that's my family's got a personal brand. That's it's like we all live and play at home, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the emergence of the personal brand is that we show up and we serve people. And that gives people hope. It helps people understand the word worthiness. Whenever we understand that what we went through before wasn't something to hide from, but is something that we were chosen to go through because we were strong enough to go through it. And now we can look back into the fire, we can put our hand in, and we can help the next person out. We didn't go through it just 'cause. This isn't happenstance. We were chosen. And I know that sometimes that's difficult depending on the situations that we went through. It's my belief. I don't know if it's true. It's my belief. My belief is that we were chosen to go through these things because we could handle it, and because our hearts are strong enough to be able to look back in and stay close enough to be able to say, I got you. I got you. And then all of these people who are living in fear, who are living in misery, who are living, maybe they live their last day over and over and over again. Do you know what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
There are lots of people living their final days over and over and over again. And if we, as the people who have gone through that same thing, are not turning around and helping those individuals, then what did we go through it for?
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to do this. But in doing all of this, we're able to shift this entire planet because it's a ripple effect with all of us, right?
Yeah.
And so we're able to shift the entire planet just by the way that we show up and the way that we serve. So everything is about service and hope and worthiness and reminding people of their value instead of letting them believe this ultimate narrative that we are worthless and that we are missing something.
Wow. See, I'm totally moved. I'm sure I know people in watching now are moved by your words and how you present this. And so what I see happens here is that we're all on a high now. You know how this works, Martha. We're all on a high now. We're feeling good. And then as soon as we get off the live stream, something happens where we complicate things. We complicate that feeling, that emotional feeling like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm ready to go. And I always say this, that it's simple, but it ain't easy. Mm-hmm. So how do you get people past that point where they're not complicating anything? They're not putting out the negative it's still, they always feel like there's something else that they need to have happen instead of just going the straight path and doing what they need to do.
Yeah. I think a lot of this is culture. So HBR has a student group, and there's a strong culture in there of what I'm about to talk about. But then there's also, and I believe it's on the ticker below, but there's a group that I have, and it has a strong culture of this as well. So the culture that I create in my groups is a culture of let's go, let's do this. If you have problems, let's talk them out. Let's get through them. But essentially, it's everybody is motivated and moving in one direction. And what I know about a mob moving in one direction is that it is very difficult to stand still in a mob of people moving forward. Yeah. And so if you have that in one of my groups, it's 8,000, little over 8,000, I think at this point, people in there. All of these people are shifting forward. They're all growing. So I've got HBR people in that group. So they're all growing. They're helping other people grow. We've got a 90-day challenge. There's all sorts of stuff going on in there. And everybody is growing and excited and learning and becoming better at every step. And if you're in there, you cannot stand still. Mm. So my suggestion is to get into a place with that kind of forward momentum so you cannot stand still, because what's going to happen is you're going to start doing something, start growing something, and then your 5% is going to kick in. So this is the thing. 5% of your audience, or 5% of the people around you, just wish you would shut up. That's how it is. It's just how it is, right? Yes. And we just need to understand that is what it is. They don't go away. It actually gets bigger, right? It's a percentage. So the bigger your audience gets, the more people wish you would shut up. And that's all right. We just need to know that it's a thing. Right. But sometimes that 5% are the people that are closest to us. And sometimes that 5% live in our house. And so when you start to build something or grow, they may not yet be ready for you to do something like that. They're processing what that means to them. This is all their stuff. It makes no difference to you, okay? But it's their stuff. But a lot of times people can get paralyzed by that. They can say, oh gosh, well, I'm getting judgment from my husband, or I'm getting, they're saying, oh, you're going to try to do this again, or something like that, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Understand that may happen. And it's okay if it does. My own husband wasn't totally on board with one of the businesses that we started until he started seeing what it was doing. So it's okay. I mean, that's for me. Okay. That's my own husband did that. And he's great. He's a great man, but he was a skeptic. Yeah. We have to be skeptical to some extent because that's why we're alive.
Right.
So we gotta be skeptical.
Right.
So you need to have community around you that makes this okay. That makes whenever the home stuff or whenever the people closest to you are saying, man, why are you doing that thing that's weird, right? Why are you gonna start a business? Right? They're just, all they're doing is they're projecting their limitations to you. They're projecting what they can't do, and that's okay, but it has nothing to do with you and what you can do. And that's the truth, okay? And typically it's your family that does it first, okay? Yeah. And then eventually, once you start getting successful, they're like, I knew you were gonna be successful. I knew it. You're great. But, but until then, make sure that you lean on the communities around you because they are going to get you through some mentally rough times whenever this is happening. Right. And so that would be my biggest suggestion on staying with it is being in a big group of people where the culture is curated, right? Where someone is managing the culture in there so it doesn't slip sideways, or the bullying or the spamming and all of that, where culture is actually managed in a positive way. So if you can get in a big group like that, that is good stuff.
I love that. I love all of this. Okay, so let's dive into this scenario where the person has a full-time job, 40 hours a week, maybe some more with commute time, whatever, right?
Okay.
And they have this side gig, they're doing live streams, they're trying their best, they got that one or two coaching clients, whatever, they're trying their best. And, they're trying to learn as much as they can. Now you talk about this a little bit where there's all this misinformation, or should I say, difference of opinion information that can really mess you up. Like times when you don't still know what's best for you. Yeah. So can you talk about the information overload that kills people from really trying to push this side gig into a main gig because they don't know exactly what direction to go to?
Yes. Oh, I would love nothing more than to talk about this. So this is gonna be good. Oh my word. So first of all, so far as learning something in order to teach it, let's not do that. Okay. If you need to learn skill sets in order to grow your business on how to use different formats, how to use different platforms, things like that, that's fine to learn because that's necessary, right? But don't learn something so you can teach it. What we actually need to do is we need to look back, remember, to where we were, and we need to think, get specific on one of those avatars, on one of those, people and versions of yourself, one of those points in your life. Get specific about the way that I take it to the couch. I always take it to the couch. And I say, if you were that person at that point in your life, sit on the couch, sort of like regress a little bit. Sit on the couch, stare at the wall. I like to stare at the wall. And think, what is one thing that if you only knew this, everything would be better back then? What was the one thing that you were thinking, man, it seems like everybody else has this thing. It seems like everybody else understands this. It seems like everybody else is so ahead of me in the game. Why don't I understand this? Why can't somebody just tell me this? There's something like that for everybody in that space. And so what you need to do is you need to grab that thing and create content on that. Now, whether it's a coaching program or if it's an online course or something like that, you need to build around that one thing and help people move out of that space And that you don't need to learn anything to do that, because you already did that. And you did it successfully. And that's where people start to think, they get this whole imposter syndrome thing going on, where they're like, but I don't have a college degree, and I don't have letters behind my name, and I'm not a doctorate. I don't have like all of these things, so I can't talk about this stuff. What? First of all, many jobs these days will take what? They'll take a diploma in something, or what? Yeah. Years of experience.
Right.
Number of years of experience.
Right.
What do you think this is? You have a diploma in whatever it is that you went through. Those are your years of experience. The things that you went through could be accepted by a job anywhere in lieu of a diploma. Stop getting in our heads about needing certifications and all of this stuff in order to speak, in order to transform lives. You don't need that stuff, right? And so once people realize that and can put like their helmet on of like, oh my gosh, I can help this person back here right now. All of a sudden life just goes. And then that's where at that point, that's where like HBR comes in, right? That's where you create the things, you create the content, you put the wheel or the chain on the bike, so to speak. Let the bike be able to actually move so the business can grow. But you don't need the certifications. And so far as misinformation out there is concerned, don't worry about learning something in order to teach something. You already know what you need to teach. The only thing that you actually need to learn is how to put this stuff out there. And I'm just going to be honest, because I don't know another way to be.
Okay.
There is a lot of folks out there that are just regurgitating Russell Brunson stuff, or they're regurgitating whatever they saw in One Funnel Away, or they saw like they saw somebody's webinar and now they're regurgitating that information. There are few people that have done it. What you're looking for is somebody who has done it. And then you go learn from that person, not somebody sitting on a rented Ferrari on a Facebook ad. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, let's get very, I'm sorry, I'm so anti like, dude, bro, you know what I'm saying.
I do. Absolutely.
You see him and you're like, come on.
I've seen it for years. And they're still there. But yeah, it's still there.
Look different, right? Yeah, and some of them are the same. It's just, I don't know how you're still paying for ads, man.
Right.
But yeah, that's like, it's just make sure that your mentor or that your coach, the person that you're looking up to and the person that you're emulating, make sure that that person actually is where you want to be. That's the most important thing.
Okay. I'm going to go over the last two of the fears that are the main champs of everybody's hesitation, which is time and money. You know, they have this full-time, again, you have this full-time job, you have this side gig. I only have so many hours in a week. That's one excuse. Or maybe it's legit, but you know, it's out there. And then you have money. Whereas, you know, how can I afford having this tool to put my courses on, or whatever I'm going to do, to put money for my video, the editing, whatever I'm going to do, the stream, whatever I'm going to do. Talk about the anxiety of that, where you're thinking about time, you're thinking about money. How can I do this and still pay my bills and all this stuff? Then I got a family to feed, I got all these different things. And now you're like, why did I do this? So talk about all of that.
Yes. Oh man, this is good. So time, I only work 5 to 10 hours a week. And that's in full blown everything that I'm doing 5 to 10 hours a week. Okay. So it doesn't need to take that much time. Here's just a little hack. And what I do with my time, I get a lot of stuff done every day, but I do it in increments. So I do it in 15-minute increments. And I set my alarm on my phone for 15 minutes. I turn off everything that's going to beep, bleep, or blink at me. So my phone is away, except for the alarm that's going to go off in 15 minutes. Everything is X'd out. Facebook and everything, email even, everything is X'd out except for the one thing that I'm going to focus on. And then I have my tasks. I break down. So this is project management, sort of. I break down my tasks of what I need to do. I break that down and I have it in my planner. And so I start at the top and I mark them off as I go within the 15 minutes. And I don't know about you, but most entrepreneurs that I know got a little challenge to them, right? They're a little like, all right, game on. And so then all of a sudden we squeeze a lot into 15 minutes. And so I've even been known to squeeze an hour and a half of stuff into 15 minutes. And what we don't realize when we don't manage our time well, when we end up down, like on Facebook or wherever, we end up down the rabbit hole of whatever we're scrolling about. We end up there. And then all of a sudden we realize our task, oh yeah, that thing I was going to do, let me get back to that. And then you start to work on it and your mind wanders and you go somewhere else. And people say, I don't have enough time to do my business. You do have enough time. You don't have enough focus. And so the focus is all that you need. And it's simple. That's where you just set a timer and make yourself focus. Here's another thing that's going to do. It's going to directly show you where your blocks are, because some things end up on our to-do list over and over and over. You just keep writing it in the next day and you write it in the next day. That didn't happen that day. Okay, well, going to put it in tomorrow, going to put it in tomorrow. They keep staying on our list and we don't get them done.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that you have a block. But here's the thing is you're not going to stare down that block until you have to, until you're in a 15-minute time block and it's the next thing on the list and you've got enough discipline to say, all right, this is it. I'm not going to skip it. Let's do this thing. You're going to realize why you have the block, where the block is, and it's going to dissolve. And then you're going to be able to move forward. But that happens in those 15-minute blocks. So with time, I suggest 15-minute time blocks. Usually I say time blocks and immediately people are like, wow, time blocks. I've heard that a million times before, right?
Right.
Reality is you have, and the reason why is because they work. But you need to actually do it. The question is, are you willing to do something you wouldn't normally do in order to live a life that you wouldn't normally have? And it's not difficult. It's just something you wouldn't normally do. And that's why it leads to a life you wouldn't normally have. I mean, it's 1 + 1 is 2, right? Mm-hmm. And so there is the time part of it, the time paradox, which really doesn't even exist. And then, so I'm just going to be the bearer of accurate news here. And then the money thing is so interesting because we spend money on a lot of garbage.
Yes, we do.
I don't know how many times you've been to Target, but for me, when I go to Target, I cannot get out of there without spending $60 at least. And I definitely only need milk. So for sure, there are things that we end up spending money on that if we want to create an enemy here, it's okay in order to make us feel better about not doing it, that big companies, big corporations want you to spend money on, okay? Yeah. If you could just save that, it doesn't cost much to get your business going. Like I said before, I teach building business without ads. So you're not spending money on ads or anything like that. You're literally just building relationships. It does not cost much to actually get a business started. Here's the thing is don't go into everyone's free webinar. If you go into everyone's free webinar, you will end up with so many softwares. You will have no idea which direction you're going, or you'll just get paralyzed. Okay. Because webinars sell things. For people that don't know, it's a sales tool. Okay. So when you go into a free training webinar, it is a sales tool. Okay. They're going to sell you a software or something. So, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No shame in that game, but do understand if you keep going to those and you're like, I'm going to get free training. And then you're like, I want that software. Well, you are going to spend a lot of money on software. Whereas really you just need good strategy. And then you need to understand what softwares you can get that are going to make things very easy, simple, and not expensive for you. So it's not actually expensive to build your business. Also, it doesn't actually take that much time. So we'll just debunk both of those.
I love it. I love it. So can we wrap? Can we do a quick wrap up of the process? Let's do it very quickly, like the quick wrap up, because I got a few more questions after that. And we just gonna have a little fun. But what's the quick wrap up of this, of turning your side gig into a main gig? What should they take away out of all of this in this hour?
Yeah. The quick wrap up is don't focus on the money, even though it's everything you want to focus on. Focus on who you used to be and serve that person. Build an audience, build a community. That's what I talk about that in the free group, which is in the ticker down below. I talk about it in there. You can learn it from me in there if you want to. It's free. And again, not much money, right? So this is how it goes. So you create your audience there, you help them out, and then you serve them. And you can create income streams around yourself serving these people. Don't create a thing and then try to sell it to the masses. You find your person, who you used to be, and you create a group of those people and you serve them and you love them and you take care of them as though you are the chief to their tribe. Okay? They are your people. And so you take care of them, and it takes on a whole different life than everything else. It will be the difference between something that works and doesn't work, sustainable versus not sustainable, and feels good versus feels skeezy or salesy.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. So, So I'm going to finish off with a few questions that should be really quick. Tell us about Revelations 3:8.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Wow. Nobody ever asked me about that.
Really?
Oh, Revelations 3:8. I am the open door that no man can close, because you have, I'm not great at repeating directly, but the idea is because you have shown up, I have goosebumps everywhere. Because you have shown up and you have honored me, I am going to take care of you, essentially is how it goes. And so that is can you see my goosebumps? I'm looking at it, I'm like chicken skin. But that's what this tattoo is. And that's everything to me. I am the open door that no man can close. My goal here is to reflect and to project my creator through myself to the entire world. And I don't know if you remember those. I'm sure you do remember the what would Jesus do things. Yeah. I live my life as if Jesus were alive in this world currently, as we're looking at it, what would he be doing? Yeah. And it would be showing up and showing love in all ways and breaking paradigms, shifting the way people are thinking, bringing people back to him, first of all, but bringing people back to understanding they don't need all this external anything. They have everything they already need. And that's what I am, the open door that no man can close. Yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Oh, no worries. I love that. So tell us about 4 Days to Save the World, the social movement. What's going on there, girl? What's going on there? We got a TV star coming out.
I know. We're going to be on a reality show. Man, I got an email from the producer of that show, and I was sitting on the couch with my husband. We were watching Blacklist because right. Yeah. And so it took us a while to finally get to that show, but we were behind. But we were sitting on the couch, and I got the email. It was pretty late at night one night, and I looked over at Mike, and I was like, I think I just got invited onto a reality show. And he goes, "What, Martha?" What? Because sometimes, I mean, I take melatonin at night, and sometimes after I take melatonin, things get a little sideways.
Yeah.
So he was like, "What? Are you sure you're not like sleep talking right now?" And I was like, "No, I think so." And then I thought it was spam
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah, of course.
I was like, "Oh, this person wants me on their reality show," and I'm like, "Okay." Well, anyway, I was like, "Okay, well, I'll bite," because it was about social movement. It was about changing the world. And I was like, if this is real, I'm down. Like, I'm down. And so I messaged them back, or I emailed them back, and I said, "I'm good. When do you want to talk?" And then we set up an appointment and we talked, and we got halfway through the conversation and they're like, "You're in." You're coming. And so we film June in Miami, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And essentially what it's going to be is a few different teams that are set up. There are adults and children. Isn't that amazing? So there's, because children are brilliant. And so are adults, but children are brilliant, right? They're not all squashed down by life yet.
Exactly. Right.
And I want to be like on a kids team. the kids table. But yeah, so they've got different teams of us, and we're going to compete to have, there's 4 days to save the world. They're taking different things from what the UN says are world issues. And so they're going to be things like poverty, and they're going to be things like pandemics. They're going to be things like world actual issues. And we're going to create entities that solve these world problems. And we're going to do it in 4 days.
Wow.
I'm down. I love a challenge.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I love changing the world. So I'm just good. I'm excited for it.
I am, for one, I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people to say I'm glad you were picked, you were chosen. Because I think you would be great for that, perfect for that. So lastly, and I would say this is probably where people will go after the show. I usually tell people, where do you want people to go after the show? What is HBR? Just one more time. What is HBR?
Oh my gosh. HBR is my love child. That's a weird thing to say.
I see a lot of them are here. So
yeah, represent. HBR is everything. It's my heart and soul that's been just sort of like birthed and put out into the world. That's the obscure way to describe it. So HBR is the things that I've done, the systems that I've created to create these multiple income streams around my family. So the situation that I've created for myself financially and with the time freedom and all of the stuff, being able to live this life isn't just for me. I don't want to live my life up on a mountain alone. I want to cut the top off the mountain, flatten it out, and I want everybody coming up with me. And so HBR is showing everybody how to do what I have done. And then I do weekly coaching, and I show up and I help, and we have all sorts of like different ways to be able to provide support. So it's not your mama's course or program that you get and then don't have support. It's like you get it, and then all of a sudden you're in a community. You look around and you're in this community of like people that are doing it with you, that are changing the world alongside you. You collaborate, you grow, and it's a movement. Yeah. It's a movement is what it is. But that's HBR in a nutshell.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So two last questions before we get to this hour. Please confirm to me that everyone can serve someone. Because I think there's some people out there who think that they do a little quick glance through their life and think like, who can I teach? Who can I serve? I mean, I don't have any value to anybody. Can you confirm just on this program that everyone has someone they can serve?
I absolutely 100% confirm that. I also will confirm that it's very difficult for the person. You can't see the forest for the trees. The things that you know and that you've developed over the years, you've developed them so slowly, and they're yours, and they're your perception, and they're your perspective. You don't understand the value of your own perspective and the knowledge that you have because you already have it. Now what you need, this is where it takes you outside, and it brings you to who were you a few years ago, and now what knowledge do you have now that fills that gap? That's where it is. That's where it is. That's the gold right there.
Awesome. I'm glad that you confirmed that, because I think there's some people out there just like, and I've heard these people like, who am I? Who am I? What value? And sometimes I've had those feelings like, what value do I have? Right? So I'm so glad you confirmed that. So I have one last question, and this is going to be, I'm going to put you front and center on this. I ask this of all of my guests, and it goes something like this. There are people out there who are watching you now. They're going to be listening to you later, and they're going to say, they're going to say like, you know what? I like Martha. I have similar goals. I have similar interests as Martha, and I have similar journey. I have some same journey, and they want to do the things that you're doing, Martha. They want to be who you are, basically, right?
Yeah.
In their own way, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
And can you tell them in your own words how they can become an authority in this space?
Oh my goodness. You become an authority in this space. Again, I'm just going to be a broken record. You become an authority in this space by sharing the stuff that you know, but it's more important to share your heart and your soul and your why behind why you want to see change in the world. You need to think about the things that you share with people. So this person that you used to be, and that bridge that you gap, or the whatever.
Yeah.
Bridge gap, right? That's what, I don't know why that doesn't feel right. Anyway, the bridge that you gap, the bridge that you, okay, I don't even know.
The bridge that, you got me confused too.
It's weird.
Bridge the gap. You bridge the gap, right?
Bridge the gap. Okay.
Yes. It's been a long hour. It's been a long hour.
You know what? Never mind. She's a little weird. So, but that's my thing. That's also my thing. So what you create for these people, what you teach these people, what you show these people, all of that is going to bring you around to becoming an authority in your field. You're an authority not because of how many skills you know. You're an authority because of how much you care about people. That's what creates an authority. Okay. It's not that you know all of these different things. Is it great to know stuff? Sure. It's better to love people. And once you love people, and then you add on top of that the ways that you can serve them and support them, the authority comes from how much you love them. It gets built by the additional things that you learn, and you can show support to them. But it's the Maya Angelou thing, right? It's the nobody cares what you know until they know how much you care. That's it. She was not wrong. Right on. It's just, you got to love people. You got to care about people. And then on top of that, you show them how to experience change and transformation in their world. And you're automatically an authority.
I love it. I'm good. We're at the top of the hour. So please tell people where they can find you after the show, Martha. Please tell them. Oh,
goodness. Well, I was going to say downstairs in the ticker. There's a link. You can go there. That's my Facebook group. That's where there's 8,000 people currently, as we're recording right now. There's about 8,000, some 8,300, something like that. People in there. There's in the second guide. That there's a guide section of the group. In the second guide section, that's where the 90 days from your side gig to your main gig challenge is. That is not a fluffy challenge. That is not going to waste your time. That is literally going to give you activities, daily things that are going to push the needle on your side gig turning into your main gig within 90 days. That is where I would go 100%.
Awesome. And for the people who are listening later, can you just say where the group is, just like the name of the group for the people who are listening to the podcast later? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's called Heart Centered and Successful with Martha Krejci.
Awesome. I'm good. I I have no more words. People, people, listen. I'm rarely speechless, but I am now. So thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you here, and I hope to see you. Probably, I always say this now. We'll probably see you later on Clubhouse, right?
I get down on Clubhouse. Yes.
So take care, everybody. Listen, I'm going to do my little plug, even if it's my little plug. Go to theauthorityletter.com. I have a 3-part video series there to help you build your authority platform, which is pretty much aligned with everything that Martha said today. Trust me. And I do the real talk stuff. I might not be as emotional, maybe sometimes, maybe not as emotional as I was today, but it is real, it is transparent, and love to see you there. To get on that list, it's at theauthorityletter.com. And I am good. Any final words before we get out of here, Martha, or are we good?
I would just say if anybody's watching right now and thinking that might be good for somebody else, but I don't know if I could do it, then you're already feeling an internal nudge. You're already getting a God nudge of like doing something. Okay. You're already getting the God nudge of doing it. And the only thing that's going to happen when you ignore a God nudge is going to keep happening until you actually answer it. So if you're feeling the nudge at all to like maybe I should, maybe this is something that I could do, then you're being nudged to go do it. So just go do something. I'm not saying go buy anything, but go do something with that. Okay. Go make sure that you're serving the world. You're being nudged. You're being pushed essentially out of the nest. Go do it. Go do it.
Love it. Love it. And I'm good. I'm good. People just, yeah, I'm good. People remember, build it, share it, and they will come. And that's it. I am good. Martha, thank you so much. We are out of here. I'll see you on the next one. We're out.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.